And
Okay.
you should have a talking channel just for meetings.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to add.
All right.
All right, recording started. Okay,
Are you recording?
so I'm not recording. Is
Okay.
anybody recording?
Yes, I am. Oh, yeah, I'm recording.
Oh, 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 oh. All right,
Okay, we're
Welcome
good.
to the meetings channel.
all right. There we go. Good starting tone. Good starting tone. So here's
Looking
how
good.
we're gonna run every single game. We're going to have Zach as the carry top laner. We're gonna have Michael on a carry mid laner who can also get picks. We're gonna have a tempo jungler. We're gonna have utility ADC.
Wait, what does a tempo jungler mean?
Arrow game.
Oh,
We got Shaco, Rek'Sai. I want you to start to pick up the Olaf and J4 because I think those are solid picks right now.
Maybe I should be putting this in a different chat.
Maybe even Graves. All right, just those champions right now are just really good for that early game tempo, so that we can get mid and top ahead.
Is there a chat channel I can put in like notes?
yes, strats to highlight.
Shots I would okay.
Stats to highlight.
Stats to highlight.
Okay. So this is a team comp that I came up with. By any carry, I mean based off the pool I found, it's Mordekaiser, Renekton, Darius, and Aatrox. So any of those I think.
That's pretty accurate. Yeah.
And everything else makes sense. I have Misfortune italicized because I don't think that she currently fits the playstyle of the bot lane, but that could be changed. I think it's more utility based right now instead of bully.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna edit that ADC pool for future reference. ADC, we have Ashe, Varus.
Ooh, Varus I like. Okay, I can edit that too.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out the Aphelios as well.
Caitlyn, what do you think? Aelix would like to play Aphelios? He's not really her playstyle.
You know, that's rough. As far as the way our team works right now, unless I see significant changes in the way our team is functioning, like these three champions are the best for our teams. All three of them provide CC. All three of them can stay back.
I'm gonna keep Aphelios off that for now because it's gonna take a long time for her to learn that. Because
Yeah,
it,
that's
it
fair.
does also have carry potential. So, but it is a pick that could be used in the future. I agree.
We should put Lulu in our supports just so we can make our carry top even stronger.
So that was one of the problems that I ran into. When I looked at the pools, the only support that I saw that I felt like was a good pick was Janna. And I'm not too sure what else I could have put.
So, Ronnie, I'm putting on the Janna, Leona, and Nautilus. As far as right now.
I got some practicing with those today.
Yeah, I saw the Nautilus. That was good.
Also, Nami. Yeah, Nami's also good if you're interested.
I don't know. So some of these supports are up for interpretation. If you want to go hard on the Enchantress supports, we can add the Lulu, we can add the Nami, because both of those kind of match up with how Janna's playstyle is.
Yep.
And then from there we could also go down the tank route and we can go Nautilus and Leona.
Yeah.
My worry with Leona is that I feel like our bot lane, the way that we play right now is very passive, and putting an aggressive support there wouldn't really fit. In the same way that putting Caitlyn wouldn't fit, because she's aggressive. So we would have to change our playstyle bot lane to fit those kinds of champions.
I think the Leona pick's okay if you go Moby Boots early and you roam.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
Like once Leona hits 6 and you have Moby Boots, it is hugely effective. Just walking mid and seeing if you can get an ulti gank off and then going back down bot. Because she's also safe with her W. And her disengage potential is great.
Yeah, I definitely think she's a good pick. I just think I would prefer the Enchanters right now, but I think it could change. But I'll put this in here.
We can dabble. We can dabble.
Yeah, I think experimenting is
Yeah,
not
we,
bad.
We could
We-
run
we
some
experiment.
customs and
but generally that's how I want most of our games to be played as far as the team comp goes. That's the best direction we can go, and it's the strategy that Alex's team uses. Similarly, their bot lane has a little bit more presence, but
Man.
generally speaking, we focus the top side, we get the early Rift Herald, and we snowball the game off of that. Because getting that early lead is super important for these team comps.
Yeah, and
Still
we'll
want
go
the
over that in
Rift.
replay. Oh, go ahead.
Still
Jungle,
want the
is
Rift
that-
used mid or on
So-
whatever tower is the lowest.
So generally, with bot lane being very passive, it's unlikely to be put bot lane unless you got like big picks down there. It depends. So mid is better at opening up the map. If you go to mid tower, like the jungle is pretty wide open, but it can be dependent. So say you have like Renekton top, he needs to win early to mid to scale, or else he's just worse than like Aatrox, for example. So sometimes it's better to give him that plate gold. It's all dependent on the
Yeah.
game.
Okay.
That's some calls we're gonna have to work on.
Yeah, and there's a few situations where I had Herald in the games that we played, and I made that kind of decision, so you can see like firsthand like what I thought about in the replay.
If it's a game where we already have a top winning and they're doing well, opening up that mid allows for a lot more pressure on mid roams. But if it's going a little bit even, where they're not as ahead as they should be, dropping a top lane and getting Zac more ahead just off that turret gold itself is super advantageous.
Yeah, I agree,
Just
but it also
rely
can be
on that.
better to just hard push that top one advantage. It's very dependent, so it makes it a bit difficult, but it's like it will become natural. Like for example, in the game that we had Jack's top, and that's a hyper carry
Yep.
top. You want to push that as hard as possible. So that was my plan going into it, was to put a top, even though he was already ahead.
All right, so now we got set game plans. All right, and during our practices, and in off time, practicing these champions and getting this pace going is really important for us to be able to transition strictly into these comps, because generally speaking, this is going to be the game that we play, and that's it. There's no way, even with all of these champion pools being banned out, for us not to be able to play this comp well. So even if they ban the Mord or they ban the Janna, it won't matter. All right, so now we can go into some replays. Alec, can you pull it up on your
Yes, I
end?
can.
Yeah, you're gonna stream it through Discord.
Yes.
All right.
Bet.
All right, let's go.
Wait, I can Snapchat Alex. Did you already try that?
I did not.
I'll send her a snap.
All right, secondly, highly important, skins for wins, boys.
Yes. Alright, is everyone in?
Yep.
Alright, so the first thing that I want to look at is the team compositions. So taking a look at you guys at comp, you have a lot of CC and utility. So you have Shen with CC, tank, and then his ultimate obviously, you have Janna with utility, ADC Ashe with utility, you have Rek'Sai to enable, and then you have a hard carry mid. So the direct problem I have with this comp is that it's too focused on team fighting. I feel like Rek'Sai is the only thing that enables the game to be opened up, whereas Ashe kind of has to scale up a little bit, Shen doesn't really do too much early, and Syndra also is pretty scaling. And when it comes to late game, if Ashe isn't fed, who is your late game damage? Syndra, and that's it.
Yeah, going into it, I said, hey, Alex, you're going to have to carry this game with this comp.
And Ashe is just not the pick for that, in my opinion. Unless you're fed, but like you don't want to put it on a coin flip. So that's the general problem I have with this comp. If Shen was like Mordekaiser, Aatrox, Darius, Renekton, I think I like the comp. I think it makes sense. Because he enables the extra damage that you guys need that you're lacking. On the flip side, we have a pretty high tempo comp with Graves and Riven, and then we also have late game carries to fill in that, like the space that you guys are missing. So with this, I enable my lanes, so like I can make sure that Riven stays ahead and is like super fast, and then I allow my bot lane and my mid lane to scale up and be ready for mid to late game, and that's what I'm shooting for, going into it. So
Makes a lot of sense, yeah.
going into this, it's a little bit strange, because I'm starting topside. Does anyone know why I'm starting topside? The reason why is because I'm looking at the lanes. Do I really want to gank a Shan level 3? Not really. That, as Graves, going into a Shan is not going to do anything. Maybe get some pressure for Riven, which would be good, but it would be much better to get my bot lane ahead and stabilize that lane as early as possible. So starting topside allows me to do blue, Gromp, go down to red on level 3, and then gank. So
That's fair.
That was my idea.
Pathing bot.
Yeah, so where you start is where you, like, is the opposite of where you want to path. So you have to prioritize every time you go into a game, look at comps and think about what lanes are gankable and what lanes aren't. And then you path towards that. So I don't know if someone could fill me in on the idea here, I'm not too sure. So you guys, you're going for an invade, and you sit here, right? And you never check this. I'm very confused by this. So what was the idea? I'm curious, genuinely.
Oh, we thought you were gonna be starting red, and we're gonna try to get some little, cheap kills.
Okay. That's very coin flippy because, like, say that like we worded this, or generally like what we'll do is if I'm starting bot side, I always stand here as the jungler. I always stand right here. And that gives me access to this area without getting caught. Because say I see you guys walking up, I walk this way, and I'm just never caught, and I see you coming. So it's just a huge waste of time. Meanwhile, our top laner, if that were the case, could walk up and get vision on your top side. So it's just super risky.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting top side, you get starting bot side. Pretty straightforward. Bot lane waits to make it look like they leashed. Everything's looks normal. I'm doing blue in the drop. So here's something that I did is that I communicated to my top laner that so I am starting blue and I'm going Gromp, but that doesn't mean I can't look to see if this is gankable. Because even at level 2 without smokescreen, I still have dash, so it's still gankable. I see that it's not gankable, so I move on. But it's like playing opportunistic as the jungler and just making sure that I'm not missing something. So I skip wolves because it's a waste of XP. Because red will give me 3 and wolves won't. So. And then here I look for the gank.
Red directly into bot.
So this was my game plan starting out. But the problem with this lane is that I very much underestimated how passive this would be. So I genuinely believed that like something was going to happen. So I stood here for a long time, wasting time. And then I eventually backed off and went for Krugs. Okay, I'll back up a little bit.
That was good.
This was a really good gank. Because, so like, from your perspective, the lanes you can gank top because Shen has CC. So he sets you up and then you set him back up, right? It's like you chain it together. Mid, same thing as Sentry EQ. Perfect. And Cassiopeia has no mobility except for Flash. So it's a great lane to gank. And I definitely think this is a great way to start.
I was going, hey yo, you got that stun? No.
It was really well
No,
set
that
up.
was some good shit right there.
Yep. I would have liked it if you pushed out the lane a bit to force her under a tower, but other than that, it's really good. You go to Scuttle, perfect. That's definitely what you should have done right away. Of course, on my end, I know that you're topside, so I'm going for bot Scuttle. And I would go back to being standard. So, this right here is a little bit confusing to me what you're doing with this Rek'Sai. So we'll end up seeing what happens. So I take Scuttle, and then here I want to go invade your Gromp because I know that you were topside. So you walk down here, and then you ward it, and then the next thing you do here is I'm taking your Gromp, your wolves you're going to see are about to be up, and then you path all the way to Krugs.
Yeah, no, I think what was happening was bot lane was like, hey, come gank, come gank. I was like, Or I think
So-
someone might have, I don't know. I don't remember.
So even if you don't want to gank this, that's fine, because Gromp is the most valuable small camp in the game. Gromp gives you the most gold and XP. And if you think about it, your pathing would have been so much better because
What? I thought it was chickens. Damn.
no, well technically Krugs, but like the time investment doesn't make it worth it.
Yeah.
So like it's fine if you ward this and then you walk up and then you go around and take your Gromp, and then your wolves are going to be up, and then so the amount of time that takes, you probably would have gotten to Krugs. So like it's just you waste 2 camps worth of time, and then take your Gromp and you get up free. And also you get good vision, which is very important. And then here, this is a sad story. Everyone knows this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone look away. Everyone
So-
look away.
So a big thing to notice here, this is, I don't want to like, I know that you know this is bad, but I just want to explain it a little more in depth just in case anyone's confused why it's so bad. So this is a massive mini wave with a cannon. Cannons do so much damage. So Riven's obviously cutting into her own mini wave, makes sense. She gets Conqueror, and then her mini wave just keeps stacking up, and then Shen E's into the mini wave. And then Rek'Sai misses Q. Shen backs up because the mini wave is destroying him. Riven does CDs up and then just gets away. So does that make sense? The reason why I
Yeah,
feel
that
it's
was
'cause
just
the
kind
mini
of
wave.
an awkward time to gate because the fucking minion wave was huge as fuck.
Yeah, so just don't gank is the answer. You have to wait for that to clear. Now what do you do here? I don't know if you noticed this, but this was really bad. You hard push this wave, and you fuck up this lane because Shen is coming to a solo pushing wave, whereas
Yeah,
Riven gets all
it would
this
have
farm.
met like right at the turret, right when I got back.
Yeah, say that like you stopped right here, it would have been great because this is like it's even or slowly pushing towards Shen. Instead, you push it hard, and then we'll see when Shen gets here where the wave is. In fact, he's also going around. I'm not too sure why. This was a bit weird.
Dude, I did that because you said I'm going mid to take the far line. All right.
Yeah, but you can see that like if this was standard, like Shen lost all of this and Riven's gonna get all of this. And then if you look
Yeah.
at like the CS, like Riven's are gonna be so ahead. So that's why that's bad. It's fine if you want to push it a little bit, just make sure that you're not like losing CS and XP for your top winner. This is a bit of a weird engage. I just cut you out. I don't know if you're expecting me to hard engage on you, but I'm playing Graves, so I don't have to. This is just a bit weird, and now it just resets.
This is interesting because at this point, I feel like we could have won that fight. We had Shen that just backed. We have Rek'Sai that's above half HP, and we have Syndra with full mana right here.
But
It's
notice
completely
that
possible
I'm not
we win
fighting.
this.
I'm poking. That's why the fight never happened, because I knew we couldn't win it. I'm constantly cutting him out. And he has no E up, so I was gonna engage. The only option is Shen E flash. So that's why the fight didn't happen. We just didn't allow it. And then we go back to normal. Following. Still like nothing's happening. I don't want to be like too forceful on this, but this entire game I didn't look bot once after like the first 3 minutes because I just knew it was being super passive. Mid lane is pretty standard. Top lane, Shen's pretty screwed at this point. And then I get Scuttle uncontested. Oh yeah, okay, this is something I wanted to note. So after that weird fight, what do you do on Rek'Sai here? I don't really like. So like we back off and everything, and then you go and do Raptors right after this. You haven't backed yet, at all. Also, you're trying to fight me when you hadn't backed yet, which didn't make sense. But instead of doing Raptors, what I would have done is I would have backed immediately and pathed down here because Scuttle is coming up, and then your Gromp will come up. So it's just much more time efficient. And I think you're underestimating the value of Scuttles because it's a neutral objective, so you're denying your enemy gold, and you're getting vision for your team. So instead, if you just backed, and then went Gromp immediately, we'll see. So your Gromp's coming up, as I said, and you give up the Scuttle for free.
So
You
your
know what we
mid
could
lane,
do?
your mid laner's also gone right here.
Yeah, so you have full prio mid.
Like we actually had the prio mid there.
Yeah, so it was just so much better if you were just prioritizing the more important camps. Is all it is.
Okay.
We have no vision in the jungle right now.
Yeah, so I see Syndra walking over here. I'm kind of confused by this because I think that like she's maybe looking bot. This scrying is really risky because, like you said, there's literally no vision. Like we even have a word here, So like, say that like we saw her coming, and I was like maybe right here, I could have walked up and punished her super hard for that. And luckily it didn't happen for you guys, but yeah, I was expecting her to come over. And the scrying didn't really give much anyway. And then Rex is looking to gank here. You do spend a fair amount of time waiting for this gank. It does end up working out, so I can't really fault you for it.
He saw the potential. You got
Yeah.
Ezreal mana low.
And we hadn't backed yet. That's the big thing. These guys haven't backed yet. Say they backed, they would be control word right here if they had backed. So that was good. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
Hmm.
So then, end up doing the gank. You get Ezreal
Stun,
sums.
chain.
Yeah. It's a really straightforward gank. You get sums, you leave. Makes sense.
And now that sets up Drake.
And then I'm here just to make sure that they don't get dove. Becomes really. I was not expecting this at all, by the way. You guys re-engage on it, and I thought that you were gonna get blown up, but instead you pull up our Ezreal, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, that was good.
Good ulti.
I didn't expect that at all, to be honest with you. That was good.
Would you say that's a good engage or?
I'd say that's risky, because say that like
It
Say
is.
that-
Yeah, that's what I was just
say that
thinking.
you
Like
do
he's
that, you
going
have
in
no
3v1.
yeah, you have no escape.
Yeah,
It
she
ended
was
up
just,
working out, and like I guess you could say it was calculated, but like you
The
know,
only reason I went in was because I was like, you volt, right? She's like, yeah. I was like, go in.
I mean, it ended up working out, and I have to give it to you. But at the same time, with slightly different factors, it could have went horribly wrong. But
Yeah.
still, makes sense. And you guys go for Dragon here. One thing that I want to point out, and I'm not faulting you guys for this right now because it makes total sense, but in the future, I would not worry too much about dragons. It makes sense because you guys have free dragon because bot lane had to back. But you'll end up seeing later in the game that this dragon did nothing. But like I said, here it makes sense. Although you didn't correct this vision at all, even though you're right there. This control has been in there for so long, it even has the gold tint. And then top lane. Okay, yeah, this was weird.
Yeah, it's rough.
Riven's so ahead, but like she's like kind of inting.
Yeah, no, that's the one thing I was like, we gotta shut this Riven down. We ended up doing it by the end of the game, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, well, that's going back to the comp, right? So I was talking
Yeah.
about how we have a tempo jungler. So I'm not really supposed to scale, and it ends up happening because I get fed, but that's not why I picked it. We have a tempo jungler to enable the lanes. So Riven, of course, she can carry late game, but that's not why we picked her. We picked her for these, like we picked late game for these two. So say that she does get shut down later, it's fine because we have the casting at the Ezreal.
At this point in the game, right here, like right now, we could have done Rift Herald. We already had Michael roaming up. We have Rek'Sai who's on red right now. We have a Shen who just backed, but he has ulti
And TP.
and TP. So we 100% could have taken this with Riven being the only one to contest.
Yeah, because I was backed. So yeah, this was a missed opportunity. Instead, what happens is very unfortunate. You make the call to go for Rift Herald, but you're by yourself. And the only vision you have is one word. So Riven obviously sees you, and what she's doing here makes a lot of sense. She's forcing you to tank autos from Rift Herald, and she just kind of sits there, and she's waiting for us to come. And she gets free damage off on you. This was a really good pick on Cass by Mike.
Good stun, good Shen.
But-
ulti.
I missed my ult there, which is good for you guys. And then this re-engage makes sense right here, right? Like Shen's full health, he has E up, Cass is low. What doesn't make sense is that you guys don't realize that you can't follow this. You just can't. You have to hope that Shen can walk out. What happens instead is you guys get re-engaged on yourselves. I follow with Flash, Mike's fighting, or Riven's fighting. Then you go back in, so it kind of makes sense that like you wanted to like finish it out with your ult, but you weren't thinking about Riven CDs at all. And what
Mhm.
happens instead is that you just get blown up. And I finish the Syndra, so I come into help. So you just weren't playing around CDs, I guess.
Yeah, no, I thought I was gonna explode her so fast, but I didn't.
Yeah,
And the shield.
because she has W and E up, right?
Yep.
This is something to think about. And now we get free of Shroud. Bot lane, same thing. And then you're looking bot lane again. So this becomes really weird again. So you're waiting, obviously, you know you have vision. really want this. So you go in,
You
we
have
get
the Ashe
TP.
ulti. Oh,
Okay.
you get the TP, yeah.
But say that like
That's-
Riven doesn't even TP, like what is going to happen here?
Ezreal's just gonna E away and he might just get bubbled.
Yeah, I mean Nami has.
It's the
ult
lane
up.
you have to gank when they're so far up the lane.
Yeah.
Or you engage with Ashe ult right away.
Did you ever
Yeah, I-
consider
I
not
don't-
ganking bot
I-
ever?
Mm.
Because think about it. You have Ezreal, one of the hardest ADCs to gank except for Tristana, and you have Nami, who has ult and bubble and flash. So what were you trying to gain by this gank? You were trying to get Ashe fed?
Yeah, I was just so on the Ashe carry.
So why not Syndra?
Because at the beginning of the game, I was told constantly, Ashe
Yeah.
is going to be the carry of this game. You have to camp. You have to carry.
Okay, so that's just poor information in my opinion. I think that Syndra is by far the carry in this game.
Syndra's already gonna carry.
Not as hard as she could. Was one thing about getting an advantage and then pushing an advantage. So. Yeah, so like, even if you ganked, even if Riven didn't TP, this gank's just never gonna happen. This is really weird here. So it makes a lot of sense that Janna's here, right? Because she's trying to set this up. So you get behind here and they don't know, and Nami walks over. So what you should have done, you should have queued here, walked behind, and immediately ulted to like pseudo insec into Ashe. Instead, you save the ult, like right here, ult. Instead, you ult now when she flashes.
I think it's just because I was being greedy, trying to look for a better position to like push her farther when I should have just been quicker about it.
Yeah, you just like follow your instincts, I guess, in terms of like just making that as quick as possible, deny any counterplay.
Yeah.
And then Riven's there, so this becomes kind of a stalemate because you got TP here, everyone just kind of backs off. Cass and Syndra are kind of looking at each other. This ends
Yeah,
up
they're
Cass,
staring at each other very threateningly.
Yeah, Cass ends up getting picked here because she's not thinking straight.
She did not respect Syndra.
Yeah, our mid lane was off rolling, and she's like a silver support. But what I want to look at here is what I'm doing. So I make mistakes here where I'm not sure what I'm doing, so I go this route. But then I make the decision that I have Rift Herald. We know that Shen has no TP, no ult, and this top tower is so free. So instead of going down to help this fight, I go top. And I just want to show you guys how much gold I actually end up getting from this. So I'm getting minions, getting XP. Drop down Rift Herald. I just get so much gold from this. And I get up free. So that's the power of Rift Herald. If I didn't have Rift Herald, that play never would have happened. And now this tower is low enough that Riven can eventually get it. So, even though we lost Cass, it was actually worth for us. And you guys get Dragon again, which again is fine, but like, if you had a Rift Herald instead of a second Dragon, you would be in a much better spot. And then things go back to normal pretty much. Okay, this is once again pretty interesting. So you guys see me crying vision, and you immediately have a game plan, right? So Rek'Sai is in position, Syndra is able to roam
Syndra's
down,
roaming
and Janna is able to roam up. So I want to watch Janna first. Okay, so we immediately see me, and then Janna sees it, so she's like kind of teetering right here. If she just went up right away, it would have been so much better for you guys. Instead of just making that weird, like, you're like indecisive. And then the big problem that happens here, even worse than that, is that Rek'Sai goes in alone. So Syndra's still coming, but she's a solo champion. She has no mobility. Rek'Sai immediately goes in, Syndra's still back here. And Rek'Sai just gets blown up. Because he can't find me at this point, he's too behind. It would have been fine if he had 3 people on me at once, instead of 1, and then another, and then another.
Yeah, that was just miscommunication there.
Yeah, just something to work on.
I thought we were all going in, but apparently we weren't.
Yeah. Well, part of that's because Syndra's solo, and then we had a little bit of indecision down here.
I think that I thought it was just miscommunication. I thought Syndra would I thought she would like I just didn't realize how slow she was. Yeah, like that. And I did like I guess I was kind of like scared to get jumped on right there, so I was like, yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah,
Does
and
Syndra
it's
have
fair.
boots right now?
Wait, what?
Does Syndra have boots right now?
She does not.
No. All right.
One thing to keep in mind as Janna is that you are very squishy, but you have so much disengage. It's actually crazy with your ult, your Q, and everything, and you're super fast. So I would be a little bit more aggressive if I were you in that case. So we get a kill. I end up getting blown up from Syndra because it's Syndra. Makes sense. But still, it could have been so much better for you guys than it was. So bot lane goes back to farm lane. Top lane still just kind of getting bullied. Although I do remember there was a weird play up here at some point. I'm not sure when it was.
I think it was it this one?
Okay, so this was. So wait, let me check.
Oh no,
something
this is
here.
another
So you have a ward
good
up, right?
fucking collapse mid.
Wait, yeah, this is a word, right? So you went through here. You see this wall's open. Why didn't you drop a word anywhere? This is inside information on where I'm going to be and where I am. But anyway, this is a good gank nonetheless. Which, my only problem with it is that you didn't do it like 8 minutes earlier. Again, like I know you did the first gank, but you should have just kept going with it. As you can tell, you're getting success. You should have kept going. And then here, you're not respecting me, because you didn't place a ward down, so you didn't see where I was. I'm obviously way ahead of you, and you have to burn a flash. So if you just placed a ward here, none of that would have happened. So I'm just gonna hold mid. Bot lane's the same. Good for you to go for Scuttle. Is this the play? Yes, this is the play. Okay, this is weird. Okay, so Riven obviously fails here.
Oh,
So what she's planning on doing obviously is flash W your entire Riven combo. And then you actually play this pretty well. So she wanted the tower, really bad. And then showed down. But then the tower dies anyway. So I don't have a lot of analysis for this, I just thought it was funny. Because it's like, what can you guys say about that?
I only flashed because I thought she was gonna knock me up and then ult me right afterwards. Which
Yeah,
kinda fucked it
I don't
up.
disagree with that. I think that makes sense.
It's kind of unlucky the minions got the tower too.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not really a whole lot to say about this. I just thought it was funny.
Just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Why did the minions switch aggro from him to his turret?
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what to say about it. But other than that, pretty normal. So Rek'Sai sees Nami here instead of looking over here at a certain objective I'm talking about. Because what you actually accomplish down here isn't very noticeable. So I'm waiting for my sweeper here.
Thought it would have been some prime time Rift Herald action after
Oh yeah,
Riven
this would have
died.
been fantastic if show time. We have no words on it too, but instead you were kind of like looking right around here for some reason. I'm not sure what you were trying to
Yeah,
get.
no, I was just scared because Riven, and I didn't know if y'all had water or not.
Which is why you should have sweeper by now.
Yeah.
I have sweeper. So what I do when I play jungle is I either will go to this bush. If I'm bot side, I go to this bush, I ward this, I back, and I get sweeper. I think that's really good because
Yeah, I don't think I got sweeper at all this game because I thought our vision was so bad, which it was.
I don't think it matters if your vision is bad. I think sweeper is better in jungle no matter what. Because you're not wasting as much time on a gank because you know if it's warded or not. You can invade a little bit. This is why you buy pink wards because you don't really have to run into the problem of not having wards. Which I kind of don't do so well on that myself. But okay, so this is really good by you guys. So you obviously see the Dragon's Campaign. You guys want it because you have 2. That makes sense. So I obviously know that. So I'm getting ready for it, and I did not expect this at all. One thing I will say, and this is not analysis, but how did that hit me? But anyway, this was really good by you guys. Fantastic pick.
You got fucking murked. All right.
Yeah. In my opinion, that shouldn't have hit, but you know, moving forward. It was a really bad fight after this. And it's kind of hard to tell why at first. Starting off, missed Ash Arrow. And
So
the problem is that
the
you guys are
Astro-
sandwiched super hard here. because we have two people here that can kite, so you can't just like fully extend. I think the best option here is you guys just ran it down on this cast, but instead you kind of just like
Which we
teeter around in
attempt-
this middle. Go ahead.
So we attempted to go in. So the team is like attempting to go in on that Cassio, like right there, except the Cassio fog on the ground
Mhm.
prevented anyone from being able to dash on or collapse. So that was really good by Cass.
Yeah, but I still think it would have been better to push forward than just sit here. So we'll see again. So you guys are just constantly sandwiched right here. You got Thimble going in. I mean,
So
you're almost
we
out of
tried-
that. I mean, Shan is almost out of that at that point, by the time he backs it up. And you guys are sitting in this little outfield area. And you give Riven so much AoE time. It's, yeah. Ezreal, also, yeah, I don't know why Rek'Sai went around here. Like, you'll see that, like, this back area is completely open.
Yeah, no, I thought you all were going to keep pushing. I was trying to kite him off.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, like, you have to realize, like, this is a much better path, right? And instead, like, you go around here, and you just die for free. And then you guys are completely set up for a sweet Riven engage.
Except Riven is also set up for the perfect AoE.
Yep, because you guys are just sitting together, just waiting for her to go in on you. And that's the fight. So the reason why you guys lost it is because you had really bad positioning right here. You didn't make a decision on which side to push, and instead you just kind of grouped together and tried to kite out. You lost someone here for no reason, and you just allowed Riven to stomp on you. But a good setup! And now you lose Dragon, and all of this work, all of this Dragon work is now ruined, because you're not going to get an early soul. Which is why Rift Herald is a more likely play for success. Okay, yeah, let's look at this. Don't know what the plan here was. Okay, so you see Cass backing. And you go to stop it, makes sense. Just, you know, pressure a little bit. But then, who do you have here with you? You have Janna, and that's it. We just saw Riven mid, and you don't know where I am. So you go in for this engage. Also, Cassiopeia has ult. Just keep that in mind, and she's 3 levels up on you. So Cassiopeia ults you. I'm there already. Riven's are already almost there, and you just get blown up. So just super risky play. Normal bot lane. Everyone just kind of resets. Okay, so this is so this actually ends up working out in Mike's favor, but the way it's mostly because of Riven misplay than anything else. So Mike has no vision whatsoever over here, and he also has no vision whatsoever over here. So he is super susceptible to ganks, especially knowing that Riven and Graves are both Mia, or they're both missing. So I guess it actually ends up working out, but in theory it shouldn't. So yeah. And then you guys get a free pick on Cassiopeia, which is good.
That was a good re-engage on her.
Okay, so this is bad though. So you guys obviously want this tower, right? Makes sense, 100%. I'm the only one here. You guys have a huge mini wave. Syndra takes
Huge
free
minion
damage
wave.
there.
Man advantage.
Yeah, look how much damage Syndra takes here for free.
So the comms right there. So Michael actually just underestimated his HP and your ulti damage.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much what that play was.
But you have to think about it, right? I have Youmu's already, and I'm playing a burst champion. So I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, 100%. But that's basically how that play ended. Was
Yeah, I mean, like,
we just underestimated.
yeah, I'm just
the-
saying it's super easy to read though. Like, it's not like there's no math to it. You just press tab and you see I have Youmu's. But and even despite that, he just takes free damage right here. You're just gonna see my Q. Look at your health bar. She just walks into it. Now Shen's trying to get me off, makes sense. Syndra's still super forward, and she just gets blown up. And I get up for free. So
If she had gotten her R off before she died.
I don't think it would have mattered because Nami healed me. I'm at half health. I don't think her ult does have my health. Maybe it's like
The Nami heal wouldn't have hit you before her ulti would have gone off on you.
No, I'll give you that it's a possibility, but I still think that never should have happened in the first place. And you guys just kind of
Because at this point, we have to get the pick on you. We know
Yeah.
we're down and we're not getting anywhere. The only way we're coming back into this game is to get those plays where we get the shutdown on you.
That's fine, but let's look at it this way.
In-
Is
in that-
Syndra
in that
really the one to walk up to do that? Or should Shen be taunting
No.
first?
So it was a little bit miscalculated on that part. But I like the idea of trying to get the pick on you there.
Yeah, I do think
Because
it's good.
we have the man advantage. It was just a little bit like slowly executed.
Yeah, you just weren't decisive enough. That's all it is.
If I can add something,
Sure, go ahead.
both Rek'Sai and Shin can engage this, but Syndra's ult is not up right now.
Is it not?
Oh, let's look.
Oh, Michael, you lied to me. Actually, you didn't lie to me. That's just the comms in game.
So yeah, let's see again. Yeah, she has no ult. He's right.
Oh, Michael, your ult's not up there. That's right.
So,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
especially with that in mind, this was never going to be the play. And then I just gonna run you guys down here. And then, this is pretty sad. Don't know what you guys are planning with this. I'm Fed Graves. I have a Nami with me. This tower is
Well,
low. I don't know what the plan is. You missed stomped.
Here's the plan, alright? If our mid turret falls, we lose the game.
Okay, but what if your mid turret falls and you lose someone?
The game's already over.
What I was trying to do right there, it was still a bad play, but I was trying to taunt him under turn, and even if I did, it wouldn't have mattered regardless.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
God,
what I'm saying
being
here is
taught,
pick your
man.
battles. This tower was going to die no matter what you did. Unless you had 5 people here, that tower was dead.
We had the Rek'Sai.
And I guess you just underestimated Nami's utility.
Yeah.
So you just didn't pick your battles correctly. Enemies back off, get free turret, get free kill. Riven is split pushing. Riven, he gets pretty overconfident in this game.
100% your Riven is so cocky.
He's so cocky. Yeah, he just ants a few times. He's a very inconsistent player. But I still gank for him early because I know that like he's more consistent than not inconsistent, I guess, is the best way to put it. So I still believe in him, but sometimes he does do stuff like this. So this is good that you guys get this pick. Of course. And Cassiopeia waste time roaming up. He's gonna be pushing mid. So down here, back it up a little bit. So I'm obviously going for this gank. Like 3 was my first bot gank of the game. Because this is the only tower we can get now, right? So of course I'm gonna focus it. So we go in for this. And it doesn't work. But now we're so ahead that I can just say push it, get the tower anyway. It's a ton of wave clear.
The Nami utility this game was
Oh
insane.
yeah. I do not
The amount of
underestimate Nami's
value-
pick. I would recommend picking her up. She's just so good.
The amount of utility she provided to the entire team is what threw off a lot of our plays.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
especially,
honest.
especially that Riven, like at that crucial play around Dragon, like we were not expecting her to live through all of that.
Definitely recommend Nami.
And then
So
also
this is-
Nami is just a good lane matchup against Janna as well.
Yeah. This is really tragic. I think you guys can assume what's going to happen here. I don't know what the plan was, but it's just never going to be a play.
Save the turret.
Rick, do you really think there was a chance there to save that turret? Looking at how fast she died. Even through a Shen ulti, by the way. And then I waste flash her. That's my bad, but still the play, you know, the play is the play. It's over. You get free turret, free kill. It's the same thing with the Shen thing in the mid lane.
We should play a game with you in it, so you can like give us these call-outs and we can see like in-game how to play. You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I'd be down. Whatever I can do to help you guys.
Yeah,
This
we can do it
was,
today.
yeah, if you guys want me to play a game like a sub in, I'm not very good at mid or top, but I can play anything else. So
Shoot, bro. As long as I'm not playing ADC, I can do anything. So I can support. You can have jungle. I don't want jungle. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah,
What are
we'll
we
work it
missing
out.
right now? ADC.
Okay.
Secondarily, the 5-man team play, have one person stream it, or every person on the team stream it, and Alec giving the callouts to the team.
Yeah, we could do that. Alright, so this was just an outplay by Cass. I don't know what Mike was doing here. I don't know if he was planning to get some kind of vision down here, but she just gets caught. Pretty straightforward. So this is another thing. So you're doing your wolves, right? And you know that your jungle's not your own anymore, right? Like you're down 2 levels. You're so behind. You hit your wolves, fine, and then you back right there. This isn't your jungle anymore, and you're gonna see what happens. And you will flash again. So it's just you're not respecting the position that you're in the game. And then same thing with Janny here. Same exact thing. You literally just see me walk over the ward. You know I'm here, 100%. And then you decide to walk up.
I don't think he did see you with that word.
Yes, you did.
Did he?
I remember the.
Oh yeah,
comms,
because
he
you
was-
walked up.
Yeah.
Ronnie was like, I don't know where these people are, or something like. But they literally just got killed there.
Yeah, well, I
Or
knew they were in the area,
Jackson
but
did.
I mean,
it's a high pressure
Whoa,
situation.
whoa,
when you,
whoa!
like, as
I
a
didn't
support.
die. I didn't die.
Like whenever you're in that
Almost.
position, like getting vision is
Okay,
like
almost.
super important. So, but,
oh yeah, I
it's
agree. But what if
definitely
you just
greedy,
warded here
definitely
instead? Sure, it's a bit, well, it's a worse angle, but you're probably not gonna die for it, you know.
greedy. Yeah, it's greedy.
I even messed this up by adding too early, and it doesn't even matter. You just get absolutely blown up with the Ezreal and everything.
Yeah,
Ezreal's
yeah,
on
so-
point with that ulti too.
And then we set up for dragon, which
Alright.
again, your dragons were worthless because they didn't do anything. Rift Trail is better.
If we had won that third Drake fight, and we actually took it to a soul match, we actually have a chance of taking the game with soul.
Yeah, I agree. But your comp wasn't made for that. Your comp
Absolutely
wasn't
not.
made
But,
for trying to
but
get
after
dragons.
losing that first Rift Herald, that's basically the play we had.
Yeah, that's true. But still trying to reiterate, for future games, the importance of Rift Herald is compared to Dragon. Unless you're playing early game comp. That's the one exception. Early game comps want dragons because that's the only way that they can end a game fast if they're not just completely stopping. If you're playing late game, dragons aren't as important as getting early gold. Riven wants to
Here,
get
I
hints.
think we can move on to game 2 from here.
Okay, we can do that.
Because right now we're down, what, we're down
Like,
8k gold.
Yeah.
You're,
It just
Well,
snowballs out of control from there.
I want to see
Yeah,
his Riven
let me-
die. I want to see his Riven
If
die.
there's any
first.
major things, yeah. See if
Well,
there's any
yeah,
like,
can-
major things.
I want to see his Riven die.
What time was it? I just skipped it. My bad.
Oh,
Oh, was it here?
it doesn't matter. It's fine though.
Oh yeah, it was here. It was here.
Yes.
And then I know that's
Oh.
over, but I just want to show you something that we do well that you can do the same thing. So we're pushing bot. It's free tower. Force areas off. We do after that, we go mid. We get free tower. We do after that, we go top, free tower, stuff like that. That's just good end game macro. But,
Rotato.
so that was game 1. Now game 2.
Good. How are you?
Did you put broccoli?
Hey? Yeah?
Almost prom king.
Alright, so let's look at comps again, because I do think it's very important. So every time you guys
no,
go into
I'll,
a game...
I'll take the L on the Amumu.
Okay.
Because I was like, I just want him on a tank jungler right now. Because right now, in the drafting phase of which Amumu was picked, I think he was either second or third pick. Us as a team, we're thinking we want a tank jungler.
Okay.
So our tank junglers to pick from, I completely forgot about the fact that Jackson plays Zac.
Yeah.
That's on me.
I play Zac
so-
way better.
So we picked the Amumu, and I'll take the L on the Amumu.
Okay. So let's just look at what the goals are for each comp going forward, even with maybe a worse comp. So, looking at top side, we have a very similar comp to what we had before. We have a hyper scaling top laner we have a utility mid, and then we have a carry bot. So it's a little bit reversed with what we had, where we had a more scaling mid, but now we have a more scaling top. So we want the same game plan, just reverse on the lanes. Looking up you guys' comp, it makes a whole lot more sense than the first comp, in my opinion. Just like looking at the roles of each player. Mid, still carry. ADC, I don't know if I like this. Tank jungler makes sense. Utility, tank support makes sense. And then carry top, I like it. What I don't like is, number one, we have a bully ADC. This ADC is made for bullying. If you're not autoing the enemy in the lane, you're not picking Caitlyn. And then, as we've already stated, Amumu could have been better, like Sejuani or Zac. And then Gragas could have been Nautilus. And it went better. Or Leon, I suppose. So, from your perspective, you want to get this one ahead because you're going against a hyper-scaling Jax. Say Jax gets ahead, the game's broken. That's actually exactly what happens. Because top gets no help. And maybe you try to help top a little bit, but it's never successful.
I was getting a beer right now. That explains this whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That's fair. Like I won't discredit you on that because that makes sense. But
I had to get the beer after that game 1.
Yeah, I mean I got you. But so like I won't look at like why you're clear so slow because that makes sense. I actually didn't know it going to this game as the jungler because I just assumed that you weren't getting a beer, I guess. So I didn't punish you for it, but you could have been punished if I was smarter about it and checked better. So that was on my bad, and you could have been punished for it harder. Other than that, we fan out, makes sense. This does not make any sense. So here you're looking for a deep ward, right?
Yeah, on the Raptors. I usually do that, but yeah.
So any good team is going to know that you're supposed to fan out. So we're looking at every entrance into our own jungle, right? So you can't just walk around here. Jax already has vision of you at this point, by the way. He already knows you're here. And
I
so
actually
does
think
Malzahar.
the Malzahar should be sitting where the Jax is, and the Jax should be sitting in top try.
Oh, that's fine,
If,
yeah.
if you really wanted to micro that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a better way of fanning. But as it stands, it's still much better than what's going on over here. Because
Yeah.
they already see you, they're already aware. You don't know where they are because he's in a bush, and Malzahar's just on the edge. You're kind of just showing off a little bit, and then you go for this ward, you go for it even though you know the Jax is right there, and then you just get punished so hard. Syndra misses Q, I'm pretty sure. And this is the worst possible scenario for Renekton, where he has to TP to lane at 1.5 minutes. It's quite sad. But other than that, just moves on pretty standard. Jax already has an advantage, obviously. Although he does throw it a little bit, but that's later. Bot lane, very boring. I just want to read it to you guys. You're playing Caitlyn, right? Caitlyn is a bully ADC. You pick her for her
ADC isn't
range.
here.
Unfortunately,
isn't here, by the
ADC
way.
isn't here.
I know, but like I think it's collectively good to understand.
She'll
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
the
yeah.
video. She'll watch the video.
Yeah. So, as everyone knows, Caitlyn's passive is that every like 7 or so autos, she gets an empowered auto. Right? So we're looking, she has an empowered auto right here. She hits a minion that's not even going to die. And Leona's right there. It's just stuff like that. It's not why you pick Caitlyn. It makes no sense. So that's just something to keep in mind for future reference when you're looking at comps. If you want to play Caitlyn, that's great. You just have to play differently. And that's pretty much the story for the rest of the bot lane. So pretty straightforward. So once again, I'm doing exactly what I want you to do in the future. So I start bot, obviously, and I path top. Same thing as the first game, but I did it in reverse. Because I know that this is my baby right here. This is what's gonna carry me to the end. I don't need to get super fed if I get this guy super fed. Because he's hyper scaling top, and so on and so forth. So I'm doing red, and I'm getting ready to go top, just get level 3. You don't have any words here, obviously, which helps me out a lot. And you're gonna see here that I don't actually get a kill, but what this turns into makes it like almost worse for you. So I pressure you super hard, get a ton of damage off on you. Now you have a huge disadvantage, and we're gonna see here.
Yours.
We're gonna see here what happens to your CS. So you're currently head in CS, right? Because you're playing an early game champion versus a mid to late game champion. So just watch the numbers. It's a sad story from here on out. Only because I ganked and didn't even get a kill, right? It's that easy to impact a lane. If Amumu did the same thing, Jax was screwed. You have a carry top, Jax is behind. We wouldn't have as strong of a win condition as we did. So, very important. And this is the same story for a while. You're looking to gank here. You're pretty low. It's kind of scary. You don't know where I am. And you just waste time.
Ooh.
Just a waste of time. Jax immediately sees you when you do that, by the way. And I'm here just to make sure that everything's okay. And I also check myself if I can gank this, and I can't get you anyway. And that bot is the same thing. You're poking with Qs, makes sense, but other than that. So here I put a, deep wards are super important. It makes sense to put a ward here because you're being pressured, but like this is so good for me. And then I just back here and like I get out for free. I think that you gank mid here, which is great, and I'll keep reiterating, ganking mid is great. I love it.
Good waiting, good stun.
It's fine you missed Q there because you forced Malzahar flash. That's all you need to do. That was it. You wouldn't have to get a kill to impact a lane. And then here, you give up Scuttle, which is bad. Granted, I don't know if you could have gotten it because Syndra's backing and we had bot prio because bot lane is just constantly being pushed in because they're not trading. So it makes sense we're giving up Scuttle, but it's just really not optimal. At this point, Jax hasn't backed yet, and he still is like doing fine in the lane just because he's so ahead. Pretty straightforward. Current vision, very good. Moon was looking for a gank. And once again, it makes a lot more sense for you to gank bot lane in this game because you have a Caitlyn. But with the playstyle, like I said before, it's just so much better to gank the top side.
Yo, this is interesting. Alright, so if you back it up, and you go to whenever Mumu's sitting in the try, so they don't have vision of the try, they don't know.
Yep.
Alright, so another play would have been for you Logos to like walk up and bait in the Leona EQ.
Yeah.
Because then Jackson is set up perfectly to gank this lane, and you actually force it to happen instead of him waiting in that try.
And I'll tell you, my bot lane was itching to fight you guys. They kept complaining about how boring it was, and they just want to go in so bad, but they weren't going to int, obviously. If you gave them the opportunity, I guarantee they would have taken it.
So that's another thing about communication. If Jackson's sitting in that bush and they're playing like they are, either that probably Logos, you, just walking up and baiting them in to actually engage on you, and then Jackson come in like
also,
he did.
I mean, that's kind of the reason. I mean, that's kind of the reason I have exhaust anyway, too.
Yeah.
So that's, I
That
could have
would've
just
been-
exhausted and
That would have
saved
been
myself.
big.
Yeah, and that's true for every lane that Jackson wants to gank. It's not just bot. If your jungler wants to gank, you set your jungler up. Your jungler doesn't set you up. That's why, as jungler, you look at lanes and you say, okay, send your EQ, she sets me up. Gragas, E-Flash, sets me up. React stun, you know? It's up to you guys to chain it together, but the laner always goes first, unless it's like a very specific scenario where they're very low. So, just keep that in mind for if Jackson wants to gank you.
I think that's why you don't gank mid that much here. Like Malzahar can't set you up. Like,
Oh,
what is
yeah.
he gonna do?
Well, when he gets ult, I
Silence
do.
Syndra? Yeah, whenever he gets ulti, then it's a different story. But this early game, you don't even touch mid.
Yeah, because you're always going to be looking at your comp. I keep saying this, I know, but especially as a jungler, you have to be aware of what each player is capable of based on their champions. And that way you can optimize what you're doing. So here you're once again looking for
So he,
gank.
that's a decent setup right there.
So yeah, you had the right idea here with the setup. But it ends up falling apart. And we'll see why. So you wanted
Umu's
to beat
level
Jax.
4 as well.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah, he is level 4. Part of that reason was sitting in that tri-bush for as long as he did for nothing to happen. Part of it was
the beard.
whenever you sat top early and nothing happened,
Sure.
and you canceled your back. And then Scuttles.
So I'm not even worried about the fact that he's behind here. The problem here has nothing to do with it, and we'll see what it is. So Renekton, you know, baiting him in makes total sense. At this point, Jax sees him, and now you keep walking back. Even though you see Jax just saw Mumu, so of course he's gonna start backing up too. So instead, you flash in.
The Q.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly my point. You
So,
flash in for
so
the
the
stun.
Q was like slightly too soon.
So, say that you know that you're willing to commit to this flash W. You know that you want to get this kill, right? So Jackson has to be aware of the fact that this is a kill that we need. So Zach is going to commit his resources for it. So save your Q for that flash W. Say you Q right now. Perfect.
There's no CC left. You can just flash away or even Q away.
No, watch. Renekton stuns.
Also, his Q is still down.
Well, no,
Yeah,
because he
we're
wasted, because
saying
Mumu
hold
wasted
it.
Q.
We're saying hold that Q till that.
Yeah,
so
but
that,
Mumu wasted
so that
wasted
comes
Q.
down
Oh yeah.
more communication.
Yeah, watch. Say that Mumu saved it 2 seconds more. I don't know if it would have been a kill, but you definitely would have gotten Jack's flash. Miss Q. Flash W. Makes no sense.
I didn't even see the Q go out in the game, honestly.
Yeah. And then, so you Renekton wastes flash, right? Or all Jax has to do is back. Wastes no sums.
He did get chunked there.
Yeah.
And that gives a little bit of prio to Renekton back, but lane
But Jax
is
stays
hard
anyway,
pushing.
and he has flash advantage now. And a Mumu wasted time. This is a good ward, by the way. Bot lane, very boring. Mid lane, straightforward. The name of this game is top lane, as I said before. That's who wins the game. So remember how Jax got chunked and gives pressure to Renekton? Turns out he
You're gonna
gave
get
it.
the prio right back to Jax by just ganking again.
Yeah, unfortunately,
You
he
just go
gave him a
back
little
in.
bit too much pressure because now Renekton is too cocky to realize that he can't be this far up without vision. And after this play, in my opinion, the game is over unless we make a huge mistake. Jax hasn't even set this up well for me, notice. But it doesn't even matter. And yep, top lane's over, and that's the role. That's the lane that we're looking at. So that's pretty much the game, unless we seriously mess it up, which we
Alright.
not doing.
Well, you want to play a game?
Well, I mean, there's still a little more things to look at, but yeah, we can do it in a second. Because I mean, the game's not over. I'm saying that like from a macro standpoint, but there's still ways you can come back in.
No, the game was actually decided at 16 minutes.
Yeah. So there's still some things that you guys can do.
Yeah, we let him take it too much.
Yeah, so this
Yeah,
is still important.
So
So, I see you doing
So-
Dragon, Moon was very low. But you know I'm top
Yeah.
side, so that makes sense.
Leona
This play-
engages.
I should have listened
Jackson.
to myself.
So, Leona actually messes this up. But if she didn't, Mike was dead.
Alright.
100%.
Yeah, this is a play I should have listened to myself. They were like, get dragon, get dragon. Like, nah, I don't think we can. Get dragon. So I was like, alright, fine, let's get it.
Well,
And-
I think the problem is that I think we're a little bit slow to go to dragon, especially like when we were going to dragon, and I was like, we were calling it, but I think like Alex stayed for a couple more minions, and I think it was probably a bad idea anyway.
I feel like regardless, it would have been a bad idea because
Yeah.
Jackson's level 5. We don't have Mumu ult. It makes the team fight that much worse if they do come.
Too.
He was below half HP when he started Dragon, and nobody was with him.
Yep.
It's true.
I will say that ends up working out for you guys because somehow Jackson gets a miracle smite. It is
Yeah, that's
quite
hot.
astonishing, his smite there. Well, let's take a look. So we kind of like, oh wait, this is not it. This is where I inch. I inch.
Oh, that's right, you int.
Yeah. See, even I'm not perfect, guys. I make mistakes too. Yep, I ain't there.
Can you go back to how the Malzahar died? I forgot. I didn't see that.
Sure. So we're trying to push you guys off, and then he gets CC chained,
Oh, he gets. Okay.
and then I'm behind. I get free kill on Mike, and then it gets super greedy, and I go for this Gragas, and that's where I end. So yeah. Keep in mind though, Jax has a free lane now. And what is he gonna do with that? He's gonna get a ton of gold and XP. Malzahar straight in here for some reason. And then Ufano going back top. Granted, you did get a kill there, so it wasn't bad, but like,
Yeah.
But Malzahar shouldn't have done that, and you know that like, if you're playing against a competent mid laner, like that's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, that kind of confused me.
Yeah. So, Jax puts it in the plate. Blah blah blah. Pretty straightforward from here.
Oh, go to dragon, go to dragon, go to dragon.
Oh yeah. Here you go. Here's this miraculous smite. So I want you guys to notice something. 510 smite on Amumu. So that's how much damage his smite is going to do. 548 is when he smited it and he caught it. I don't know how it happened, but it was a miracle.
That's
And
that's some good shit right there, Jackson.
I gave you some props for that one. I could not outspite that, so very good. Definitely give you props. What happens after is like kind of sad though, because you guys like Caitlyn, like I don't know what the plan was. She ults Leona. I don't understand. And then like if I mean I don't know. I just think it's pretty straightforward. So we get the pick on Gragas, and then Malzahar waste flash going for this kill, but she has like no sums up or no CDs I mean, so it doesn't matter. And then top lane, Jax is so ahead.
Oh, is this when he dives me and I fuck it up?
You just get deleted.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I
sure.
fucked up here pretty hard. I stunned him through his counter strike. I think.
Oh really?
Fucked up. I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, but like say that like you didn't use your W, you would have died by the time the E was over anyway. So
Yeah.
it's not even your fault per se. It's just the fact that other factors allow Jax to be so ahead of you, aka me ganking. And it just kind of turns out that way. This is also kind of funny, just as a side note.
Yeah, I don't know how he
He was
didn't die
gonna
here.
die. I really thought he was gonna die.
Around right here, I was like, Steven, please. And that's when he starts backing up.
And then, oh, I thought I was gonna get this.
And then Amumu's too slow, wastes a bit of time, you know how it is.
I mean, this is Gromp and Blues up, so pathing down here isn't a terrible mistake.
Yeah, that's
they have
true.
Rift up.
But it just wouldn't faster to go the other way. So one thing that he doesn't do here, speaking of which, is word Rift Herald. So he goes to do his camps. Even if after blue he goes and looks at it, it makes sense. But he doesn't do that. Oh, he does. No, he doesn't. He thought about it.
Almost.
Thought about it for a
Hey,
second.
he really thought about hitting that blast point right there.
What's the harm of Jackson? What's the harm of not hitting? Or what's the harm of?
I wasn't thinking.
I'm just saying. Like you might as well hit it rather than not hit it if it's
Hmm.
there. You know, like in any situation.
Yeah, so
So-
you get
so
that,
in
and
the
then Renekton
future-
sees Malzahar. What's he gonna do? Jax is too far. Like, great for you guys.
In the future, let's
Well,
always
also,
try
you
to have
guys-
vision of Rift Herald.
Yeah, I feel like I could have gotten.
Well, I just think you guys
you-
underestimated the value of it at first, and I'm hoping that now you guys see how important it is.
Yeah, to elaborate on that, you guys had 5 on top side. Like, it was a good time to look to Rift Herald anyway. Like, at the time, Gragas was covering mid lane, Syndra was a mid tier 2, and I think Caitlyn was at that red buff pink ward, so you guys had 5 close. And it's that 12-minute mark, you guys are behind, you're looking to make a play to come back. That's a 600, 700 gold swing.
Yeah, it can be. Yep. I just think that for the future, you guys just need to work on prioritizing Rift Herald more. I think that's what it comes down to. Instead, I get Rift Herald here, obviously. You can't really do much because you're behind. And we'll end up seeing later how big that is for us. So my plan was here, is that, when we were talking about this earlier, where do you want to put up mid or top? I was planning on putting a top, because my top laner is he scales so hard, that anything I can do to get him ahead, even if he's already ahead, is so good. Turns out he ints here, unfortunately, so that plan is kind of ruined.
Outplayed.
Oh yeah, we're gonna take advantage of the next time we screw him.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
So-
a different ball game.
Yeah, so he
So he
ints
has
here.
he has no wards, even though you're coming up.
Yeah.
You're not in position to actually capitalize on this turret dive.
So, this was definitely a bad play on his part. And he knew right away, like, he was like, oh shit, what am I doing? But yeah, great for you guys. But what do I do instead? It's actually ends up being better what I do instead. Also, this is really sad.
That was tragic.
Did you just get blown? Oh.
Yep.
Oh, Michael, you have 2 wards.
Ah, yeah. Okay, so what ends up happening instead of me dropping Rift Herald top is actually better for us. So you're doing my red buff. Right now, I don't really care because what you're going to see instead is much better. And now I drop the Herald. So this ends up being very sad for us actually, because looking at the time, yep, we missed all the
Oh,
points.
damn.
So this was actually my bad. This play was my fault. I totally should have. I should have said, let's keep going for turret. I didn't, but even with that in mind, still Rift Herald was so impactful this game. And now we're just looking at bot. Malzar is backing on a word for some reason, which I noticed right away, and I was like confused about.
Off rolls.
Jax, once again, just to reiterate.
Jax is doing Jax things.
Yep, and once again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but it's because I set him up, and you can do the same thing, Jackson, just in reverse. So.
No, I could tell. I got actually pretty fucking
Outplayed there.
tilted. No, I just
you got-
I wasn't thinking straight. Just because from the level, first time you came top, you literally just shoved me out, and I was like, my lane's over from right there because I had a lot of priority, and then you just took it away from me instantly.
Yeah, that was my goal from minute one, you know, and it can be Jackson's goal too. So. The goal was to tilt you, like not even like mentally, but like just in general.
You
like-
accomplished. You accomplished.
But you guys can do the same thing, just on your side, you know? It's totally doable. And then, okay, so this is a good play and a bad play at the same time.
Oh.
So,
Damn it. Oh, that's okay. That's fine.
so that was sad.
Yeah, very sad.
But there's more sad things that come. This is good, like that.
Alright, yep.
Let's watch your Mumu for a second. Watch your Mumu, watch your Mumu. Oh. Okay. And,
Oh, hits the Leona. Hey,
Why?
over here.
why did you ult that?
Oh yeah, the ult.
What were you
No,
gaining
I
from this?
thought-
She was dead as hell.
I thought Leona was still in the circle. Look how close she is.
Why didn't
Look
you
at
just do
this.
it over here then?
Well, regardless, you probably wouldn't even need to use your ult because look at where the misfortune is. Like she's running literally into them.
She's dead as hell.
She's not even going towards
No.
the turret.
In my head, I wasn't trying to ult the Misfortune. I was trying to ult the Leona, and I thought she was still in my circle. So that's why I was spamming it, because I didn't want her to get out of the circle. And then yeah.
Okay, so that's just a micro mistake, but it's
Unfortunate.
definitely something that you can learn from, right?
Um,
And then here, we just disengaged. But still, like, the idea was great, right? Like, great collapse. Get Syndra kill, perfect. Just the execution was a bit off. So, we just disengage here. And then we see the dragons coming up, and this is going to be huge. This is going to be what actually ends the game for real.
Yeah, this is what decided the game.
So, you guys are posturing for dragon. You know, pretty straightforward. Trying to get vision around. You have no vision here, which is bad. No vision here. Well, you have that here.
Yep.
That's not bad.
Yep. Hey,
Yeah,
got
we started
vision.
putting down wards.
Yep, but they just get cleared
That-
I
immediately.
think I'm out of words at this point.
That jungler sweeping.
Yep, once again, sweep. I actually don't even get this one, but sweeping, so good in junglers.
wait, I didn't.
Don't you dare.
Okay, yeah. So, I missed this actually. This is good by you.
What's this? I was like, I'm not wasting smite for this.
Yeah, I know I had Smite coming back up, which is, I actually pinged it. But I messed that up. That was my bad. So, we all know what's going to happen here, right? We have Leona coming down, we have all four of us here, we're currently ahead by around 2,500 gold.
You don't have any of our ults either.
Yeah, you're missing
Yeah.
Gragas, Syndra,
We're missing all the game breaking, like the team fight ults. We're missing like literally all of them.
and what do you guys decide to do? You hit the dragon.
Yikes.
And it's just like, what were you guys expecting, you know? Like, we're
Who
just
hit
gonna
the
like, watch you guys
dragon?
do
Whoa.
it. So this is gonna
It
be very
starts-
important. So the way that you guys are posturing is that Amumu really wants this, and now he's gonna try to engage on us. Keep in mind he has no ult, so the engage would do nothing, pretty much, except for like stun for like a second on someone. And then you have Renekton like in the back, and then Gragas trying to protect the carries, makes sense. Amumu misses Q. Syndra has, she's blinded, keep in mind. She has a great QE. this actually ends up stunning Misfortune. So
Like,
let's
dude,
see.
shit, I'm out.
So they're all stunned, and hey, we're not stunned anymore. So now we re-engage, and now Renekton says hello. And look at Renekton. Say he did that like 5 seconds earlier. It would have been so disgusting for you guys.
Yeah, when the stun happened.
Yep, that would have been so disgusting. Instead, we just roll you guys. Just and it
I
came
was-
down
I
to
was-
positioning.
I was scared of personally getting Leona stun and just getting absolutely deleted, and then my team wouldn't be able to do anything else. But I should have been closer when the Syndra stun happened.
Yeah, you should have at least
Yeah.
been parallel, for sure.
'Cause actually, when I saw that stun, I was like, "Fuck, I should actually go in," but I was already too far.
Yeah. Well, at least you know for next time, you know. It's all about the reason why you guys aren't winning team
Learning.
fights is because you're not following up on each other. That's just one example of how you could have done it. And we get free dragon. First dragon is pointless now. Because you're not going to get another soul. So just pushing, blah blah blah. Is this the really sad moment? I think it is. So we see Caitlyn walking up.
Yeah.
See Jackson MF. And Leona coming.
Oh, no.
This is just tragic right here.
Don't do it. No.
Oh,
No, you ain't gonna watch it in slow motion.
we're building anticipation.
I'm like, I'm here.
Oh my god.
And she's gone. Yep. So, that was that. So,
That was just tragic.
yeah, I mean, to analyze it, it's just that she had no vision. 3 people were missing, so on and so forth, but it's pretty straightforward. Good free bot turret, blah blah blah. And yeah, like we said before, the game's pretty much over here. There's not really a whole lot to analyze at this point. I mean, we get everything. I will say this is something that could be noted. Don't know what the plan was here with Amumu. You're looking for a Malzahar pick, but meanwhile you're just losing everything. So you're just wasting time over here. Maybe you're thinking about Rift Herald. I guess that makes sense. But
Yeah, and then we actually just stopped
Yeah.
doing it, or at least I
Well-
stopped doing it, and we're like, we need to go bot lane because
we actually just missed your Q.
How did that? That's what I didn't understand. How that?
Because
not
it
hit?
wasn't spawned yet.
Oh. I was so mad.
So now Amumu is
Alright.
not doing anything, obviously. Because you do this Rift Herald. We can look over here, obviously. We know what's happening down here.
The game is being ended.
Yeah. And then you
no.
just top the Rift Herald anyway.
Yeah, no, we had no like. I think they were saying like, "Oh, we got this, we can stop this," and then I was like, "Oh."
So I don't have much more to analyze here. We actually end up like just prolonging the game for no reason. You guys get some good picks. There was a really actually I'd probably like this because this is fair. You get a fantastic Gragas ult on me. This is what I want.
That's hot.
That's what I want. That is exactly what I'm looking for right there.
I didn't even call that too. That was just a spur of the moment thing. I didn't tell them at all that was gonna happen. I'm just like, oh, here it is.
That's what I want to see. You maybe there's a bit of miscommunication there because you didn't call it out. But the fact that they saw it and they instinctually went on it was great. You guys gonna see how well you chain your abilities together here.
Yeah, with a ult like that, I'd like just have to focus so much on like placing it.
Yeah,
So
so you place me in front of Syndra. Syndra EQs, because she ends up hitting it, even though she probably shouldn't, because I eat into it. But that's not very important. And then Rekton goes in. Perfect. That's how you chain your abilities, and that's what you should be doing in a team fight. You guys just need to keep doing that. That's what you need. And now
We had done that the entire 2 games.
you guys
Man.
had a much better shot. I'll say that. And then that's pretty much the game. We prolong it again because Misfortune ants onto a trap. But that's about it.
Wait,
Those are the games.
no.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah, no, but this is a hypey moment for us. We're like, did she just walk onto that?
yeah, that was hilarious. We were like, wait, what just happened?
So my team has this problem where they're really good, but they like have ADD. I swear to God. They just like if we're ahead like 9k gold at 24 minutes, they have the problem of just not focusing, and they're like, Oh yeah, well I'll actually just give this as an example. So we got Baron, right? Where's Malzahar? What are you doing?
Yo, Malzahar trying to pat that KDA.
She's trying to
He's
up
trying
her
to pat that
farm.
KD, trying to pat that farm,
So that's just
and then you get absolutely rolled.
yeah. But like say like that Malzahar was here, maybe we wouldn't have won, but it would have been much better, you know. So yeah. And then she cancels her
He
ult
canceled
there.
his ulti. Oh,
She's a silver support main. And then we can watch the end anyway. So by that time, I'm calling everyone, please go mid, please. I'm asking, I'm begging you. So Jax is doing red.
yeah,
buff,
that
level
MF
slow.
definitely went mid.
Yep, she listened all right. All right, all right.
Oh,
We're waiting. She's thinking about it. And there it is. Okay. So that was the game.
We're like, did you not see that?
No, she just didn't see it, genuinely.
Oh, you want to run one?
Yeah, if you guys want to play.
I think.
Does anyone have any questions though? Like, does anyone? It all make sense what I said? Is there things that you disagree with that like maybe we could talk about?
If I'm playing jungle and there's like, you know, some junglers like have to start on a certain camp or else the jungle clears a lot harder.
I
Say
think,
we
okay. Go
There's
ahead.
only